Hello students, welcome to week 6 for COM 405. This week we are doing a review of the rhetorical triangle. We're going to review some of the things that we went over in the first week of the course because it is necessary to review it for your written rhetorical analyses we'll be working on. If you go ahead and take a look at the week 6 agenda, we have a number of things due this week. It is pretty heavy content-wise, so you will want to get started early. We're reading chapters 11 and 12 in the course text, as well as watching some videos that provides us with some ideas of what rhetoric is, as well as APA style outlines. You'll see as we're moving into the written rhetorical analysis, it functions a little differently than the oral rhetorical analysis that was completed at the end of week 5. Additionally, you have a weekly review due. This week is a discussion board. It's our 6th one, so your original post is due on Friday with replies post due by Sunday. For your rhetorical analysis project, we're now creating an outline for our written analysis. You'll find when we get to this portion in the lecture that this is very similar to what you did with the oral analysis outline. It's the same topic and same artifact. We're just now adapting it for writing a paper. And then you also have your outline due for your critical assignment. As we look at weekly review number 6, this is an abbreviation of the requirements from Blackboard just to highlight some of the important content of what you'll be doing. Weekly review number 6 asks you to evaluate a website of your choice, so pick any website you'd like, by writing an analytical essay using the website critique questions below. This is an excerpt of those questions. These questions are in-depth and in full length on Blackboard. However, you'll be critiquing the website to help you look at it from a critical perspective in judging written discourse on how information is possibly persuasive and communicated to us online. So remember that from Chapter 2, criticism really is a process that first asks us to provide a careful description, recognize aspects of a rhetorical problem, and finally make evaluations based on the following. So the 9 things listed here are the topics of each area you will be evaluating the website. The actual full description of this is provided on Blackboard, but what you'll be doing is you'll look at the website and then write an analytical essay, so you'll be analyzing the website in essay format, full APA as well. That provides, the first thing you'll do is identify information. So give me the basics of what this website is, what it contains, why is it useful, things of that nature. You'll find that more informative websites, meaning non-commerce driven websites or websites that are not designed for purchasing products, will be easier to analyze rather than one like Amazon or Toys R Us or things like that. You can choose to use those. You'll find though we're looking at the communication of those websites, so it may be easier to pick one that maybe is more informational and informationally based, like a news website or something like that. However, it's up to you to do whatever you'd like. Either is accepted. So first you need to give us all the identification information. Tell us everything we need to know about the website. Provide a clear purpose for the website, a clear audience for the website, the persona, so the feel, the design elements of the website. That's number 4. Number 5 is the tone. What is it trying to communicate? Was there a certain kind of vibe or essence or style that's coming out through the communication? Provide evidence for items 1 through 5. And number 6, analyze the structure of the website, potential communication strategies from the website, and then lastly, give an evaluation of the website. Remember, this is to be in 500 words and full APA with cover page abstract, all that good stuff. Submitted through the discussion board. Original posts are due Friday and replies are due on Sunday, so you should have a good time evaluating each other's work. And that's weekly review number 6. So if you look at your rhetorical analysis outline, this is the same format that you did for the oral presentation, what we just completed at the end of week 5. What we'll be doing now is creating an outline for a written presentation. So like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, a lot of the information from your oral outline will be utilized in this outline. So you do not need to recreate the work. Don't get confused with that. As you're working on this, understand that your summary of the arguments appeals to ethos, logos, and pathos, number 3, may be the same. Now you need to adapt that to present that in a written form in an essay rather than a video format. So that's what I'm looking for in the difference in these outlines. I'm not looking for new information on your artifact. I'm looking for you to go through, and when you give me the introduction for your topic, tell me how you're going to write that. Well, we know in writing, in a paper, in your introduction, you have to have a thesis statement. So provide a thesis statement, things of that nature. Consider how this outline needs to be adapted for a written presentation, which is an essay. So now what we'll be doing is working on our rhetorical analysis in an essay format rather than a video format. So I need to see the outline for that paper. The artifact is the same. A lot of the topics are the same for your rhetorical analysis that you did for your oral presentation. We're just now adapting it to be written rather than presented via video. If you have any specific questions with that, let me know. Your critical assignment outline. You'll need to create a 1 to 2 page outline that includes a rationale for your paper as well as a thesis statement that also includes clear points for your introduction, body, and conclusion. Remember, your critical assignment is a 5 to 7 page APA double-spaced paper on a classic or contemporary rhetorician and their theory. I have gone through all of your topics and I've given feedback to those that need feedback. There are some that were not approved, so definitely go back to your grade and see if your topic was approved or not. If it doesn't say anything, then it was approved. I only put something in there if it was not approved. So remember, the paper itself has 3 parts. You'll provide a historical perspective of the theorist and the theory. You'll analyze the concepts of and principles of the theory itself. You will also, in part 3, argue whether this individual's principles, practices, or disciplines can be applicable today. So you need to take those 3 parts and put that into an outline. Remember, your critical assignment is separate from anything else we're doing in this class. It's a unique assignment contained just to itself. You will use information that we've read in assignments and things like that may draw to help you understand what to do with this assignment a little better, but it's not at all related to our rhetorical analysis, so keep that in mind. So this week you're submitting just the outline. It should be about 1 to 2 pages. I ask you to please review the video on APA style outlines that will help you in understanding the structure of what your outline should look like. As we're moving into written rhetorical analyses, it's important to review some things. So when we look at rhetoric, we know it achieves 5 things. 1, it provides stimulation. 2, it needs to be convincing. 3, it needs to have a call to action. 4, it needs to increase consideration for a particular topic. And 5, it needs to have tolerance for alternative perspectives. As we look at that, we know we need to measure it against the rhetorical triangle. We have to have logos, ethos, and pathos in some way or another within our rhetorical triangle. And we also need to consider the speaker, the audience, and the subject. We're reviewing this to understand how we're going to place this within an essay format. So in your essay, there needs to be clear evidence of utilizing a rhetorical triangle. A speaker needs to be identified. So whatever your artifact is, there needs to be a clear communicator who is communicating whatever it is in your artifact. There needs to be a clearly identified audience, and there needs to be a clearly identified subject. You also need to measure this against logic, reason, and proof, which is logos, ethos, credibility and trust, and pathos, emotions and values. So as we do this, remember when we're presenting our rhetorical analyses in a video format or an oral format like we did in week 5, we are relying on our verbal communication to get this point across. So our nonverbal communication as well as our verbal communication in the video feed can help convey some of what we're trying to say within our persuasive communication. Seeing somebody there, you can start to see what they may want to get across by their mannerisms and things of that nature. So as you look at this, consider how you're still going to get those points across when you're writing the paper, because that's what we'll be doing with the written analysis. And this week, remember, we're working on the outline, and we'll be submitting our rhetorical written analysis in week 7, so you still have some time, but I want you to start to shift gears and start thinking of this in paper format. Additionally, as we move forward, I want you to reconsider, as we're getting into the critical assignment, the purpose of rhetoric, because the critical assignment is actually asking you to do a cumulative review of the course by now being able to look at a theory and a theorist and make some judgments on it. To do that, you need to understand what the purpose of rhetoric is. Remember, this is a review. We've already gone through this, so this is not new information. Rhetoric is the purposive use of messages to invite assent. It's really defined by its function, not by communication medium, topic, or social occasion, but its function. And it always functions. It's not announced, it's not acknowledged, and it's used by those who deny it and also defame it. So as we look at it, we know that it achieves those things and is utilizing and analyzing communication from a linear perspective. It's looking at communication taking place across a line, beginning with the source, somebody who communicates it, and ending with the receiver, and sending that message across that line. So we can look at all of communication from that perspective and a rhetorical perspective. Another view of communication is ritualistic communication, which looks at communication not being about the impartation of messages sent to a receiver from another, so not about the source message receiver model, but about the ritual of communing with one another. We don't get into that too much at this point in rhetoric. Rhetoric, we're simply looking and analyzing objects and theories and things of looking at who's the source, who's the receiver, and how is this persuasive communication accepted, sent, and or rejected by the receiver. So these are some things to keep in mind as we're moving forward. Do remember we're working on weekly review number 6 this week. The original post is due Friday with reply posts due on Sunday. Rhetorical analysis, your written outline is due this week for your written paper for the rhetorical analysis project, and your critical assignment outline is also due this week. If you have any questions, please reach out early. I pray you all have a blessed week, and I look forward to interacting with you online.